Hello everybody, in today's video what we're going to be doing is we're going to paint up the Fellowship, and this here is to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Lord of the Rings Return of the King. So one also unique thing that I have advantage of is I live in New Zealand, so I have made a trip out to Hobbiton itself to give myself some inspiration and imagination, as well as celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to paint up the miniatures of the Fellowship, and we're also going to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the Lord of the Rings original trilogy. Okay, so the first thing I did while painting up these miniatures is I needed to build and prime them, and I thought rather than show you that, I would show you the first thing you can see when you enter Hobbiton. And this is a nice little area where they have a couple of hobbit holes ready for you to see. This is just as you walk through the entrance and you go through that nice little stone walkway where Gandalf goes through when he enters Hobbiton itself. It's very similar to how it is in the movie as well, as you can see here. So as we start painting here, I thought I would start with Aragorn here, since it is the 20th anniversary of the Lord of the Rings Return of the King. I thought it would be appropriate to start with him first. Now, this isn't going to be a video tutorial like I usually do. I thought, since I've got something special here and I have footage of Hobbiton itself, I'm going to mainly show off this. I'm going to be cutting back and forth between characters and random stages of me painting them up, and hopefully you'll enjoy that. Trying to go with a different style for this video here, because I wanted to show you around Hobbiton as well, since it's a unique opportunity that I have by living in New Zealand, is I can go to the place where part of this movie was actually filmed. So hopefully that'll give you something interesting to look at as I'm painting up these miniatures. And here we have some more hobbit holes built into the side of the hill leading up towards Bag End. And you can see this is just a little bit further on from where I showed you the first lot of footage, as we're making our way up the path towards Bag End, and that'll be the next lot of footage I'll show you, is Bag End itself. So now we've come back to the painting. I'm painting up some hobbits here, as you can see. One thing that I am doing is I'm giving all of these paint jobs pretty much a slap chop, and I'm going to be also adding some highlights and stuff to them, keeping the paint jobs relatively simple, basically following along with the colors they have on the box art. I just wanted to keep it nice, plain and simple, because like I said, with this video, I wanted to mainly focus on showing you around somewhere where you guys wouldn't probably be able to see. Some of you may eventually come to New Zealand itself and come see Hobbiton, but a majority of you won't be as lucky as I am to live here and be not far away from it, as I don't actually live that far away from Hobbiton itself, and it's not an easy thing that you can go and do. I thought this was a great opportunity to show you guys around parts of it. Now, of course, I'm not showing you everything in Hobbiton, I'm just showing you little bits and pieces of footage that I take, so if you do come, you will see a lot more stuff. But as we're painting up Frodo here, why don't we go and check out Bag End, shall we? So one thing that was pretty fun when we were doing our tour of Hobbiton is that our tour guide that was showing us around was really obsessed with Samwise Gamgee. She really enjoyed telling stories about him, constantly quoting from the movie. It was really fun to see, and especially the people there themselves also enjoying their time showing people around. So let's go see what Samwise Gamgee's house looks like, shall we? So one thing about Hobbiton now is how I showed you Samwise Gamgee's house just then, is that at the time when I went, you actually couldn't see Sam's house. It was being completely demolished, as they were building a new area into Hobbiton itself, where they were going to rebuild it, and you were going to be able to walk into a house hobbit hole right next to Samwise Gamgee's house, and unfortunately they had to block it off and completely demolish it so they could build a whole hobbit hole you can go into, which I believe is open now, as when this video has come out. Wasn't open at that time. And I've been to Hobbiton twice over the years. This is footage from 2 separate occasions that I've been. So the reason why I have this footage of Samwise Gamgee's house is actually because in 2020, when the world was all locked down, they had special deals for New Zealanders and people who were in the country to see Hobbiton for with smaller groups that were sort of spaced out, and you were able to get more of a look around Hobbiton itself because they could only let limited people in. So I was very fortunate to get all this footage with not a lot of people in the shots, as you can see with some footages you might see online out there, because there was so little people that were allowed to be there, and it was basically only open to New Zealand residents. So that was something that was cool and special, and it was great footage there. And it's just taken me so long to sort of put this footage together and also get the miniatures. That was another problem I had as well. And as I was saying, I also found it very hard to get the miniatures. It took me over a year just to get these miniatures here, though, constantly out of stock, being from Games Workshop and being in the UK. Trying to get it here take a long time for certain things to be restocked, especially in New Zealand. With Lord of the Rings property, it's quite often always sold out, so very hard to go. And in between the years that I've been trying to get the miniatures and putting this footage together, is I actually managed to go to Hobbiton one more time. So I've combined some of the footage in there, and I was able to go and enjoy their night tour, where at the end of it you go for a big hobbit feast at the end. That was great. One thing I also do in my videos as well is that at the end, once we've done all of our paint jobs and our miniatures, I show you all the glamour shots at the end, and you can see how they come out in the final product. Now I'm going to be doing this as well, but also with that I'm also going to put in photos that I also took while on the tour of other things, maybe even the same things, as well as me in some of the places where you can take some nice photo shoots as well. So don't forget to stay around to the end to see some of those other places. I'll try and include a lot more of things you didn't get to see, or just nicer shots of the video when walking around, because sometimes the camera can be a little bit shaky. So I'll try to get some nice shots in there as well at the end. So don't forget to stay to the end to watch those as well and see other things in the Hobbiton itself that I hopefully took some nice good photos of. And this part here of Hobbiton is an area where you can see they've converted pretty much the entirety of this hill here into hobbit holes, and it looks really, really neat. This is one area you get to walk along just before you start entering the Green Dragon Inn area, and it's sort of like the last little look you get of Hobbiton itself before you move on to the section of the Green Dragon Inn. And you can see lovely design, and these things are from far away too. These you can't walk up to the hobbit holes, as you can see here. You're actually on a path that you follow along, and these are quite a bit in the distance, and you can still see, even from the distance, they put in an amazing amount of detail. And as we are painting back yet again with some hobbits, I thought it'd be a great time to tie that hobbit painting back in there. And so turning around directly behind you from the area where I showed you of those hobbit holes on the side of the hill, you can see the lovely Green Dragon Inn. And this is directly across. You still have to walk along down the path a little bit to get to the Green Dragon Inn and across that nice stone bridge that you can see there. But that is basically the view you get from straight behind that area of the hobbit hole. So the Green Dragon Inn is the last stop on the actual tour itself. There is a little area where you carry on walking down, but the Green Dragon is a big main event at the end where you get to enjoy everything that you can see. Take a look in. From looking out at the Green Dragon on the opposite side, you can actually pretty much see the entirety of Hobbiton itself. So it's a great place to end off. And also when you're there, they give you a complimentary drink. You can also buy food there if you want to, or like me, if we went there on my second trip there that I took, I actually had the dinner meal there, which you journey around at night, and then at the end they cook up a big, massive like food banquet, eat like hobbits for your night meal, and it's really, really fun, and I would highly recommend it if you do get to come. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this big video here for me and celebrating the 20 years of the Lord of the Rings trilogy is that this series of movies, this trilogy of movies, is what put New Zealand on the map. I mean, 90% of people know Lord of the Rings and New Zealand itself because it was filmed here, and it's made New Zealand a big famous country that not a lot of people around the world even knew we were a country before these movies were filmed. And so to honor that and the 20 years, I thought I'd got to go big with a video here. So that's why I wanted to make sure I painted them all up and show you around Hobbiton itself, since I am lucky enough to live in New Zealand and go there, and a lot of people who watch my content won't be able to. So I thought it would be great to give people a little bit of that experience and see how you can enjoy this country like me and the Lord of the Rings, and celebrate what makes Lord of the Rings great. And as you can see here, this here is inside the Green Dragon and just getting ready for the big banquet meal of eating like hobbits, just like you do in the movies pretty much. So now, as I'm about to finish up the Hobbiton tour and enjoy my Hobbit banquet feast, what we're going to do is we're going to go into some of the shots I've taken throughout the entirety of the trip here, as well as that is also, as you can see, show you the miniatures that I painted up there, but mainly just taking a look at some of the pictures that I've taken along the way. And hopefully this has inspired you to give up some ideas for paint jobs for your miniatures and see what this country that I live in is sort of like from a quick glimpse here, and of course to celebrate the Lord of the Rings original trilogy with the 20-year anniversary of the Lord of the Rings Return of the King. So I'd just like to thank you again, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's very different for me trying to put all this footage together. It took me a long time to make it. It's taken 3 years to finally put all this stuff together and make this video. I wanted to make this video back when I very first visited Hobbiton back in 2020. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to because I didn't have all the miniatures and the time or anything like that. But in the meantime, I managed to go there twice, get a lot of good footage on that second time around for the video for this, because I was really getting into making the videos for YouTube here. So I'd like to thank you all for watching, guys, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video.